Hey, I'm Forest Claudette, and I'm here chatting with Milky. I guess for me personally, I don't know what everyone else will experience, but I feel like we were able to kind of piece together a lot of the more existential thoughts that I have, especially around like what I'm doing and like what's the purpose of music, considering, what's going on. I'd say that's a theme. Love is also a theme, probably more specifically heartbreak. A couple of relationships ended in the span of creating all this work, and I feel those emotions quite severely. Even though I'm laughing now, it was fucking sad. Bit of both. There's apprehension now that's coming out. Makes me think about in hindsight, like, what am I going to put in my songs? Because I got to talk about it, and I didn't think about that too much at the time, but it is kind of the only way I can write. Like everything for me to feel comfortable has to come from a place of like realness, and that definition has like changed over time, as far as like feeling comfortable to explore, I suppose, different sides of a story and feeling like all of that is valid and maybe like genuine. Shout out to my singing teacher for telling me that it's fine, because I was really wrapped up in the truth, whatever that means, for a while, and it kind of like boxed me in and creatively stumped me for a while, because I was like, well, if it's not exactly true, then like what am I saying? That's what I sound like when I'm stupid. Yeah, it freed me. I was like, okay, I can explore this element of truth and this feeling. I guess maybe one thing that I'm often trying to pay attention to in sessions is like contrast. I feel like most of the songs on the EP have that of like, if there's something really smooth, then there's something crunchy or like something kind of dirty going on. And I feel like that's just probably from like my influences, and like the EP is the body of work that's been put together over a few years now, and kind of selecting certain pieces to make this semi-cohesive body of work. But yeah, I feel like people like Tyler, sonically specifically, are really good at that, and I was really into Mac Miller. Like that Swimming album was like a big album in my life as well, and I think they just do a really, really good job of pairing those things. Kind of got easier. I've been songwriting for a while now, like 4 years or something. So at the beginning, sometimes things were not more difficult, but maybe less thought out, or maybe I didn't have as much awareness of what I was creating. It was a bit more free in some ways. Not that it's not free now, but I think I was still really searching for my sound at the beginning, and I feel like maybe you can hear that. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Because everything's been touched again and again and reproduced and remixed and kind of that sort of thing. Creative process have definitely changed, and like for things like Hologram, shout out Hologram, that song was written over the span of like 2 years. Like I wrote most of it. I wrote that with Chris when I was in LA. That's 2 years old. All that just happened. Gone Without a Trace. That song was written over, like 2 years. And sonically changed heaps, because 2 years ago I wasn't thinking maybe as much actively about all these sounds, and it was just kind of jam-packed with a bunch of ideas that I had that I was excited about, and I was like, it feels like this and this, then let's put this melody in. So when I brought it to Chris earlier this year, and I was like, hey man, help, and he was like, yeah, finding elements and kind of tying these themes in the balance of, I guess, that thing again of like having like textures that are a bit more grinding or dissonant, and then pairing that with things that are smoother and crisper. But like the process of writing is, I'm always learning about different ways to do that. I like have really struggled with the visual side of this stuff, especially at the beginning. I feel like I'm getting more comfy now because I'd never had to do any of that before. I've never thought about it. Like it just hasn't been a part of like my work, because nothing's been released. Like the most I've had to think about it is like a general aesthetic of like things that I'm drawn to. The imagery building has been really tough and a pretty steep learning curve, because people are looking at me going, hey, it's your shit. Like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, these people are cool, but that stuff's cool as well. And it's been kind of fun now of like being able to articulate what I like and learning the language around that. And that's kind of how I approached music at the start as well. So at least like it feels like there's a template. I was like, learn how to talk to producers, like learn the language of what's going on. And so I'm doing that now. It depends on the person. I feel like that's something that was really important to me as far as like the EP. Like, I wanted to make sure that there were different aspects of the sounds that I will be exploring and have explored over the past, few years. I didn't want to make it like so much so that, if you heard one song, you're like, well, that's what this guy's like. Like, you need to listen to the whole EP. But I'm particularly proud of Hologram. I just feel like I showed it to my friend recently and I was like trying to figure out how to describe it. I was like, I guess it's like my more like artsy stuff. And he's like, listen to it. He's like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. He's like, what the fuck was that? Shout out AT. Yeah, it depends on the person, because I feel like there's maybe, like, I'm trying to create a spectrum of sounds that I'm going to be exploring. I want people to know that and be ready for the different avenues. It's not going to be just one thing. Not just going to be one thing. I'm going to try and make it as cohesive as possible, but do what you can with what you got. My absolute best effort. I will do my darndest to make sure that it goes well. But I think people can expect, at the very least, a wonderful energy. I'm going to be performing with two of my very dear friends. Shout out Sab, shout out Ari. I love them both to pieces. And I think the thing that I'm most excited about is, just like sharing our dynamic with people. Because I think, oh no, Mum's going to yell at me for sitting up slouched. For sitting up slouched? That dynamic. I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about. Obviously, we're a band, we're professionals, and we're practice heaps, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, we really love playing together. It'll be fun. This list is forever changing, but also just like growing endlessly. I am super fortunate to have grown up listening and exposed to like all kinds of music at all different ages. So I feel like I have an appreciation for damn near everything. Damn near everything. But as it currently stands, like, I always talk about like Frank Ocean, Tyler the Creator, and like that kind of like Odd Future World, Solange. I remember like listening to Cranes in the Sky and just being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how? I don't understand. Little Sims is, the album, what's it called? Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. If you haven't listened to that, whoo, you suck. No, you should listen to it though. It's really good. Oh my God, Point and Kill, fucking phenomenal track. Sampa the Great, amazing, phenomenal artist. The way she sample stuff, I don't know. I could talk about everyone ever. That's not true, but there's a lot of people. I really love Slow Tie as well. This is also changing all the time. Andre 3000 is like the holy mecca. If I ever get to say that I'm like have anything to do with him, like, that'd be crazy. Solange, Lil Sims, it's just the people that I adore. Like, love to work with Tyler as like a producer and stuff, because he's always talking about that. I'm like, bro, hit me up. But yeah, those people, I guess. But also like my friends, like I feel really fortunate to be kind of in this environment and be able to like create friendships with like the people that are also like releasing shit at the moment. Like shout out Chanel Loran. This is also really tricky because I'm like an album listener, so like there's so many phenomenal albums. One of my favorite albums of all time is Jackie Wilson's Higher and Higher, which is like, if you haven't listened to that, I'm gonna have a whole segment called "If You Haven't Listened to That, You Suck." But yeah, that album is phenomenal. Brittany Howard, shout out Brittany Howard. Her solo album, phenomenal. The Alabama Shakes, Sound and Color, that was like huge. Just like one of the most rich, sonically like satisfying and pleasing albums. Anderson .Paak's, oh my god, fucking Malibu, that was huge. I was so obsessed with that like aesthetic for a while. That was like, I had to like let go of that because I was really getting like bugged down. Everyone's like, dude, you just can't just sound like it. That's not what you can't do that. You have to sound like yourself. And I was like, but I want to sound like Anderson .Paak. No Name's albums, I am dying for her next album. Like, what the fuck? I understand that shit takes time, obviously, but so excited for that. I could talk about albums forever. I'm so sorry. I know that I said Frozen in my written answers, and that was specific to my niece because sometimes she does not care about my music, and that hurts. But like, what if Tron had like just like crazy hip hop beats? Like, that'd be kind of sick. I talked to my mum about this. Apparently, it was Seal's "Kiss from a Rose," and I'm fucking stoked with that answer. We listened to it afterwards, and it like just hasn't left my brain. Such a good song, so weird, such a weird song, but beautiful. I think it must have been my brother's band, Northeast Party House. I was going to their gigs when I was like, did I really not go to anything when I was younger? No, I'm gonna say that Northeast Party House, underage, just living it up. Sometimes I get a shout out. People trying to put me on their shoulders. I said, no, that is dangerous. I think it's probably going to be Tyler. I saw him in LA. That dude was on a boat. He was on a boat. And it moved. It wasn't just yep. He's on a fucking moving. His shows are nuts. But Anderson .Paak, that's tricky. Anderson .Paak plays drums. He's doing shit. Like Tyler's just like he's doing a lot, but it's just him. And he makes it work, but it's just him. Anderson .Paak is playing drums with another drummer. I don't know if you've ever tried to do anything at the same time as someone, but it's hard. And drumming's really hard. And drumming his songs is really hard. I'm just like, that's nuts. But I also haven't seen that many live gigs. I'm a bad person. Spice Girl. Spacey Spice. Something like that. Because I'm just like not paying attention. I really liked Harry Styles' first album. I don't know if that's random. Am I random for saying that? I hate myself. Like that, that was really cool. What do I... Like Phoenix. Is that... Well, I guess that's in like an interview somewhere. But like indie pop shit. Like Two Door Cinema Club? Fuck yeah. Bring it on. Love that. Probably Drake. But is it for the better or the worse? You decide. Puts out a lot of music. It's a lot of pressure for everyone else. Probably just like whatever happens, just like remember that, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It could go really well, it could go terribly, and it doesn't matter. Because I got wicked friends, I got a great family. I'm cool. Not like I'm cool, like it's fine. I think I knew for sure when I was 15 or 16, and I was like playing guitar, but I think I'd stopped doing lessons because my teacher went to Japan. Shout out Glenn. And I feel like I remember finishing like one of my first songs. Like it had structure, and it was this, then it was that, and it was that, and I was like, oh my god, it was like the craziest feeling because I'd started heaps of shit, nothing stuck, and that song sucks. I don't know what it is. I hope I don't find it, but yeah, around that time, I was just at school and I was looking at my brother doing all this stuff, and like my parents are musicians, and I was playing a lot of basketball, and they were always like, well, do you want to go to college and like do this? And I was like, no. And that was the wrong answer for them, but yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do music. It just like felt right.